Is out here tonight. See what's up. But I don't know if anybody's out here tonight. Though, just coming out here to see if anybody's on board. Thought I'd do this live stream tonight. Be on for a little bit, not on for a lot, because we're going to be eating sometime soon. But just checking out to see if anybody's coming through. See what the words are. Sure, it's been a real interesting sports weekend for some. And there should be some real interesting conversation for some folks. We'll see. I imagine I may or may not catch nobody tonight. What's up? How you doing? I'll be on for as long as I can. Just tell my dinner's ready. Thought I'd come and give you a little shout out. I know you were happy about last night. You dodged the bullet for a moment. We'll see. We shall see. Yeah, well, she's been playing for a long time. I mean, it's not much else she's gonna really get out of her career there. So, what's happening? How you doing? Good to see you. Glad to see you. She was a good player. She was a really great player. Been around for a long time, so okay. Send it on through. And you on these YouTube streets too? Is this your name that you use? Let me know if you know if it's on YouTube or whatnot, let me know. Appreciate it. I definitely kick it with you. But yeah, Candace had a great career though. And she's a good broadcaster. I got respect for her. Okay. Okay. Well, I can come check you out. Let me check you out on the YouTube. He was out anyway. I told you what I told you already. He's getting ready for France early, that's all. I see your thing. Okay, I just hit a subscription, so next time. Ticker. Let me check you out. I'll check you out. I just subscribed to that one, and let me see. Ticket. Okay. I got you. Thank you. Okay. Cool. We got to get it together when time permit for sure. Definitely. I definitely welcome that. That's cool. Definitely got to set that up for sure. Appreciate that. You forget how old these guys are. Because Frank Gore just retired like less than 10 years ago. And then, of course, I'm thinking about Marvin Harrison. I mean, yeah, MHS Jr. So it's kind of crazy when I think about it. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. I always appreciate, and anywhere we can, cross paths and help each one another out is always appreciated. Big time. Appreciate you. T.O. son of receiver, too. Yeah. It's kind of like Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeah, I seen his son play. His son was pretty good. I saw his son. Boy, you start to think, wow, these guys that got kids. It's a new generation. That's crazy. Some big shoes to fill, though. I don't know. Betty was. Betty was. But I think him playing with Harbaugh's system will be good for his son. Mm, we shall see. Frank Gore is one was one of the most underappreciated running backs. He was very good. Used to call him Frank Bloody Gore. Well, I don't know about that. I mean, that's big words to say because you're hoping that some rookie that's untapped will turn into Keenan Allen, and that usually takes about 2 or 3 years, unless of course you're one of those special kind of receivers. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. No, I never said that. I said he was a very good back. I never, you know, no. But he was, one of those kind of power backs that cats kept around. And again, yeah, I remember. I was a big boy. That dude used to run you over. I remember him. I remember him. That's kind of like the late Marion Barber. You know, these cats would be considered like second tier broke versions of Derrick Henry. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, Deuce was tough. Deuce was tough. Deuce was tough. In fact, he turned out better than they thought he was because, when they got Reggie Bush, they didn't even think he was, and then he turned out he was tough. And then they had Colston at receiver. I remember. Yeah, Deuce turned out to be a deuce for real. But you never know how these things are gonna work. That's why I can't, again, it's all speculative and I don't put a lot of stock until I see how things kind of unfold. You told anybody that Deuce McAllister was gonna be. Yeah, there were quite a few. You told anybody Deuce McAllister was gonna have the career Reggie Bush was gonna have, they laughed at you and said, "Who?" and thought you were a crackhead. But you just never know. That's why you can't go by the draft. It goes by, guys sometime turn out better than you imagine. Some guys turn out to be busts, and then some guys are just mediocre. You just never know. So I don't claim to know. I mean, there are exceptions to the rule. Now, some guys I've seen in college, I knew that guy was that guy, but it's kind of hard because you really are guessing. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember those guys. I remember. There were guys from that particular era. So, yeah, I remember. Anyway, can't really get into too much of it because, like I said before, I remember those guys, but again, it's early. Like one of the guys I remember, they were bad, but it's a different era though. Very different. So mm, he's a better shooter, I think, with the perimeter. I can't really. Well, I'd have to see him with a better low post presence because Chad is good. He's in the really good class, but it's not like Shaq. So that's kind of hard for me to say that because I'm thinking about the 1-2 punch. Penny covered so much room though. Penny could scoop and move. I gotta think about that. I gotta really think about that. Because Penny did a lot of interior things that, you know, but I mean, you know, first of all, the fact that this cat usually flirts with 25 to 30 points a game, that's not Penny. Penny wasn't like quite like that. Shay always hits a 25, 30 burger on you. But I think he's got an edge as a shooter. I think he's got a little bit of an edge as a shooter. But I mean, for me, for what I saw, it's Penny. Because Penny had a better drive to the hole. Shea, I like on the perimeter, but Penny passing game, attack game, shooting game. You know, if he don't get hurt, we're talking about a Hall of Famer. So that's the only reason why I can't do it now. Ask me this question, and we're talking 2 or 3 years down the line, and Shea gets fur in his career. You know, when he gets to a Western Conference Championship game or finals, I'll answer that better because it's not fair to either one of them. But right now, I'd have to say Penny by a slight margin because of his versatility. You want to know how bad Penny was? Michael Jordan let him rock his shoes. Jordan wasn't just handing out his shoes to anybody. That's when that's how bad Penny was. It's just that he got hurt and we never got the best of him. But he was a bad dude, you know. He had greater balance, agility. So that's the only reason for now. Not saying it can't be Shea can't get him, but I got to give it to Penny. He handled that rock. He led that rock. Zeke, better shooter, better pure scorer. Kid didn't get to that level until time went on. Zeke could remember Zeke 40 years ago was in the highest scoring game ever. And then before they became the bad boys, he had one of the greatest, what I call, like how music acts reinvent themselves, like Gaga, you seen Gaga. You know how some music artists reinvent themselves. Michael Jackson did, Prince did. I can name artists that reinvent themselves. That's what Zeke did. Kid did it, but he learned it didn't happen to him till he got better. Obviously, went with the Nets, and then he was a better shooter with Dallas. But Zeke was bad all the way around. Matter of fact, Zeke held back from scoring more points because Zeke would have been like Iverson, but I don't know if he would have won rings. He had that in his arsenal, and I have to keep it 100. And I know it kind of loans itself that he was a better player too. Whereas, let me tell you something. The other argument you asked me, Shea got a chance to be better than Penny, but Zeke was better than Kid. And when you're talking guards, it usually does go hand in hand. Usually. There are some exceptions to where I'm more impressed by someone's bag than I am about their overall game. So it all depends on who you ask me of. but usually for Larry Bird got it, Dr. J got it, Scottie Pippen. I guess. Oh God, I guess I gotta put Durant and LeBron bitterly, but Bird's bag moved me. Bird and Dr. J, especially Bird's bag. He was pretty well equipped. Yeah, but it wasn't so much of his ball handling. He could get the rock and he could score. It's between shooting and his defense is what moved me. But I don't think he had a bag that was so wide range like that, though. He was a leader, but I don't quite look at his bag as wide ranging. But you can make a case for him, though, when you factor in the winning and the impact of him being a team leader. Yeah. I just don't put his bag. He could, but he wasn't as fluid like some of those other guys, though. Some of those other guys were had different types of versatility. Like a Scottie Pippen scored about 5 more points for his career. We make a stronger case for him because he was as versatile as they come. He could run, he could play different positions. He was catching you left and right. That's a fact. Durant can handle and shoot from anywhere on the court. Good on defense. So he got versatility there. LeBron, even though. But I mentioned Bird and I mentioned, I mean, there's certain guys that come to mind. Dr. J, both sides of rock. So, excuse me. Uh, those are guys that come to mind. But Pierce is solid though. I'm saying that top 10 argument. I can't say in the top five though. You must see something I don't see. And they got to play a perfect game. And I told you my barometers are simple. Tyler Hero has to score about 20 to 25. Bam's got to score 20 to 25. They need Duncan Robinson to score double figures. Kevin Love's got to have about 7 or 8 assists, 6 to 10 points. They got to do what they did against Porzingis. They have to play near flawless basketball. They're just too flawed of a team to be cute because they can't keep up with them guys. So it's easier said than done when you go against a team that's got you beat. Um, it's easier said than done when you know the problem that they run into is who's going to be the hot hand, and then tell Tyler Hero has to sit everybody up. See that if he's a point playing point and moving the rock, he has to be able to balance. He also has to be able to feed guys, energize guys, and keep it moving. So he's got his hands cut out for him. Yeah. So, but the thing is easier said than done because they spread them out so well yesterday. Al Horford came in, spread them out. Problem with Miami is if Boston is making their shots, then you got to choose your poison. Problem is you got to pick and choose how you're going to zone up or what you're going to do. And the problem is this: Boston got firepower. They got better talent. And as great as Spoelstra can coach, you got to have talent. Sooner or later, you got to have the wheels. And that's what becomes the problem. I don't think so. I think he's getting old. I think that he can play defense, but I think that I saw it in Milwaukee. One of the reasons why they moved on from him because they started to see him. That's what's up. He's not going to wear you out no more. I see 15 to 18 points at most. He's not in that same wheel no more. But he's not asked to be that dude no more. So yeah, that and plus again he played us. He was asked to do so much in Milwaukee. So now, if he had been coming to Boston and not have to wear himself out, he'd probably be in better situation. He didn't get to do that in Milwaukee. He was asked to, you know, it's just different. He still has moments and he still can get going, but it's not the same though. So catches up with you eventually, you know. He got his ring, he came up big, and I mean, so jobbing for the Heat. Yeah. Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good. He's a work in progress. I think that, again, they got a young nucleus. Um, they just need to get a guy who can flat out score. They need a force, and that's the problem. That's bugging them. I think he'll be good in time, but their same problems that they run into, they don't have that scoring force, and that's why it's a working uphill climb. So that's how I look at it. Well, they get guys who are versatile, who work hard. They like the gym rats. They find the guys who attention to details. So they go for certain guys that fit a criteria. That's a great compliment to say that about the Spurs. Even though, excuse me, can't say that they've really had a lot of draft picks that they've taken that have been that memorable after D Wade. I mean, a Parker Ginobili that was just sitting there. But what's up now? What's happening? How you doing tonight? LA's in the house. What's up, Rio? I think the energy wasn't good. Well, are you any more shocked that Michael Jordan didn't have a job with the Chicago Bulls? I mean, I'm just keeping it 100. It's a business and it's a lot of politics. You know, it's not always a because people see success with a team. They think that people are going to owe you something or back you up. They don't do that. They should. Nah, muscle.
Okay,
So what up with
I
you?
found this on the web for they should. Check it out.
What it do? You know, there's no rhyme or reason, but the NBA is notorious for that. They don't always hire from within. You know, just him with you saw him with Larry Bird, Indiana. You're smart by the minute, but and he a white boy and he don't need him. See, this goes into a sociological reality about white privilege. He don't. He already got a gig on the ESPN plantation. So it's like, what's he need LeBron for? Co-sign what? I mean, he's already hooked up. Yeah, they are. Cause I'm gonna tell you something. They pulled that one out their butt last night. They know they was scared. They gotta play like that tomorrow night. I got a feeling Denver gonna try to finish it off. And you gotta play great basketball. And even if you pulled off an incredible miracle, which I would think would be fix and fake, you better hope not. You better hope not. You won't come out. I won't watch that mess if they do. Cause I'm not buying them as a great team. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. The truth of the matter is you should be up in this series. If you were as LeBron was what he said he was, and you really are what you are, you'd be up in this series. I think tomorrow night should be it too. They played around. They should be up in this series. They've outplayed Denver. 12 quarters, 12-4, some mess. And they're down 3-1. And they have to play perfect ball. They're not consistent. You got your guard texting on the sidelines with an Easter egg for points. You got pouting going on by Anthony Davis. LeBron screaming at the refs, acting all belligerent. Darvin Ham's got to sit there and tell a lie. You can't. This is some dysfunctional 101. It better be. I hope so. I hope so. And it's not because I don't like the Lakers. It's because they're not. Anybody knows they're not that good. They're not that good. Mentally, they're not that good. And it's a bad reflection on the NBA. And Skip Bayless was right. If you can't figure out to close games, you don't deserve to go. You don't deserve to go. And I wouldn't be impressed because they brought a lot of it on themselves. And they can't stop Jokic. So, so yeah. And he done it all series. And what? Except for the 23 boards. But what's that say? What's that say? Jokic had a triple double. What's your point? They could I'll say this real. They could beat any team and they could lose to any team, including Denver. That's why they're inconsistent. That's why I can't trust them. If you are so called ball dominant as LeBron and you this and that, you got to figure this stuff out. You dug yourself a hole. So I'm not. I don't feel them. I just don't. I'm not buying them. They did what they supposed to do. But what you want, a cookie? You blew a 20-point lead in Denver, and AD was headed for 40. He's still getting underperforming as far as scoring goes. You know, how LeBron creep over one less point than him? Come on now. It's gonna be one of them games he ain't gonna hit. Somebody for gonna get hurt. I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. Mm-mm. Besides, I see too many better younger teams in the West. I'm just not impressed. And it's gonna happen. Regardless of what happens with this series, one of them other teams, because it's just too much. And what they have to do in this series just to stick around, you're not gonna get deep. You're not getting deep. Because you're so tender turkey. Yeah, I mean, basically, he's playing great, but you still because he's being held back with LeBron, and they're not that deep. Yeah, he had 21, and he need to score. He had no choice after dropping an Easter egg. You know, he stunk it up the night before. That's the least he could do. He's not going to be around. I think soon as whenever their time is up, he's gone. This was the last straw. They tried to get rid of him uh, during the trade block. They just couldn't get what they wanted. He was on part of the deal. That's why he balled because they've been trying to unload him. I already know. And they're going to have to throw Reeves in too. I already know. Yeah, he is. Because what he did the other night, yeah, he is. But see, I never was big on him no way. He's a role player, a role playing two and a half, third tier type guard. He's not top tier, and he's not really second tier. He has moments where he can play up to second tier. Then he have moments where he looks third and below. Yeah, it's gonna be D'Lo, Reeves, and picks. That's what's up. That's what's up. They're gonna unload both of them because they gotta get a legit score. Even though I think that if LeBron goes, I think they just make a move or two. So that's how I look at it. You don't never want to play the first round where you're struggling. Buffalo Bills is my football team. You don't never want to be in round one where you're struggling and you're getting beat like that by different ways. You just don't want that to be the because that's just putting too much pressure on you. It's too much pressure. And it don't get easier. It don't get easier. And I really look at the West top tier teams as better too. So just saying. You know, as a Buffalo Bills fan, I'm not really gonna say nothing right now because we didn't draft too good. Y'all interesting situation. I got respect for your coach. I don't know what to expect. I think obviously I know who Fields is gonna probably start. I don't trust Russell. But Mike Tomlin always by his own sheer will get you 2 or 3 wins. So you will be a problem. So not much because I lived in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, where he was Seattle, and I thought his best days were done probably about 2018, 2019. By 2020, he was decent, but it faded. And then when he went to Denver, and that coach wouldn't let him go out there on fourth down, they tried that long field goal. They didn't trust Russell. His confidence been spotty. So I don't really, and he stunk the first year. He was decent last year, but at this stage, Pittsburgh probably should try to get him about 4 or 5 years ago. I don't have a lot of faith in him right now. I think Justin Fields is your best answer. So you can prove me wrong, but that division is stacked. I mean, you got Burrows in Cincinnati. Yeah, I think so too. But you got Lamar Jackson. I just think that, and don't know what's going to happen with Cleveland. You better hope they don't get their quarterback situation straight. That could be a problem. But he's going to play, yo. Insurance, but he's going to start over Russell. You don't get a young kid like that and have him back of Russell. Insurance is going to play. That's the toughest division in the NFL, though. I'm going to give you that. Without me even thinking about football right now, the AFC North is the toughest division, bar none. Fields is going to be the starter, yo. Nobody. Russell fell off, man. He fell off. And you got to give Fields the edge. The Bears just suck. They don't know. Well, see, first of all, they're not used to having quarterbacks that are mobile and can actually do things. So it was a dead man situation there, but it wasn't on him. Your defense will be, well, it can be only better than what it was, but we'll see. I think Cleveland's got the best defense in your division. So you turn my head already because it's a no-brainer. You're gonna go with the young one all the way. I don't I don't see Russell. Just don't. I don't. Not at this stage. That's why you gotta play him. Because he makes things happen. I blame it on the coach. I have a problem with the coach, real, because they done lost 5, 6 different ways. It's kind of like the Lakers situation. If you want to piggyback off the Lakers, that's what the Bills have been like. They lost 5, 6 different ways. Lost 3 different ways to Kansas City. Lost to Houston a certain way, Jacksonville some way, and Cincinnati a certain way. Sooner or later, you got to get the main piece straight. You're just getting exposed. So Josh Allen is looking like a woulda, coulda, shoulda. I don't know. No, I think the Penix one. I like the Michael Penix one. Um, uh, the Fields thing is uncertainty, but he can play at a certain level. Michael Penix is a good move because left-handed, backing up behind Cousins, it makes sense. You wouldn't get Fields behind. What's up now? What's up? What's up, Tom? Time. You wouldn't get. We don't have another pass rusher because um um uh, 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 um 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 we need a pass rusher. Don't have that on defense. That's one of the problems. Again, it's kind of tough to talk about football right now because all the drafts just came in. I got to see what else they decide to do. and I can't really get into it right now because I'm basing it on part of last year and what we done lost. But I just don't think that right now. Yeah, I'm not really, you know, I have to see what they decide, what they go and get. So I can't really even a statement on that. But what I'm seeing so far ain't that good right now, if I'm honest. And I put that on the shoulders of the coach. So, just saying. Um, real? That's hard to say. I don't go against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's a bad man. You know, the man didn't figure out how to win. You remember last year, they had no receivers. Those cats were dropping balls, and they still won. So I don't rule anything out. They're gonna have a say when it's all said and done. Mahomes is a student of the game. I'm not gonna say nothing about that dude. I mean, he didn't camped out in February since he's been starting. 6 straight AFC championship games, 4 Super Bowl appearances, 3 chips. I am never gonna count this cat out. He is in that, he's like a Tiger Woods type. I'm not counting him out. So I don't know. I don't think it was a dumb pick. Michael Penix got a chance to be a good fit. And I don't think Kirk Cousins is necessarily going to be 2, 3 years later. I think it makes sense. I'm looking at it as a Michael Vick situation, left-handed black, and also behind with Mahomes and Jordan Love. So, so I don't think it's a bad pick at all. And if Michael Penix happens to be good and stay consistent and he picks up, who's to say? I don't think it's a bad move at all. I ain't got no problem with it. And I don't see what the big hoopla against him is because I think he did good in college. And Kirk Cousins is injury prone. So I don't put nothing past Kansas City. Von Miller is what I was trying to say with the Bills. I don't know what they got. Um, I don't know. I don't know. First of all, Justin Herbert gonna have to learn how to be with a head coach. I'm gonna address that in just a second. First of all, um, the Chargers got to play smart. Herbert hasn't had a head coach to actually think sane, so that's going to take some adjusting in itself because his coach was a bit bop wire, as you know. So I don't know. They got talent, but I don't know how good they're going to be. I don't know what Harbaugh going to be able to do, first year. Just saying. Because Kirk Cousins is one of the most gangsterous NFL players I've ever seen. He's always gotten a lot of money. That ain't nothing new. He hustled Washington. He hustled Minnesota. That ain't nothing new. And it's not a big deal how much is guaranteed because if you remember, the Seahawks had Matt Flynn and then Russell Wilson came in behind him. This ain't the first time that has ever happened. Sometime you get a pick that might turn out and you just have to swallow some loot. Kirk Cousins did get hurt and he hasn't exactly been what I call a top tier quarterback. How many postseason wins and conference championships and Super Bowls he got? So I can see it happening. I don't trust uh, Denver. Okay, Mr. Sean Payton. It could be decent, but I don't know. I have nothing good to say about Sean Payton. I think he overrated as a coach. He got one ring out of there with Breeze for all that stat padding, all them cheating, and all them corny things that he did. I don't know. He wanted Russell out. He got him out. We'll see what's up with this. Why he trade for a scrub like Zach Wilson, a no never was, I don't know. I don't know. I think Antonio Pierce will do okay. I like his energy as a coach. But, you know, listen, I know where y'all going with this. Poor Mahomes got a bachelor pad over there. He owns the division. And as long as he's healthy and upright and motivated, which I give him about 3 to 5 years of running that division. I mean, he got 3 rings already, so why not keep on keeping banners on the pole? There's nothing over there. Chargers got a chance, but everybody's a work in progress. The Raiders are working WIP. Chargers are WIP, even though Herbert, but he's, you know, hasn't been, and they gotta clean up what they do, and the Broncos are too. They did do that. Their defense got better. It's just that when you don't have no accountability on offense, you gotta have a quarterback, yo. And this ain't like back in the day. Mm. Except Kirk Cousins is a gangster with the money. Dak's starting to become a gangster with the money. Gets another fat deal. They'll be like twins, except Kurt done it 3 different ways. That's what make Kirk Cousins like whoever hired him his money and his hustle to go from Washington to Minnesota to Atlanta. That boy's a G. That's a G right there. But I'm not impressed though. I'm not impressed. This is why talking about football now is not too cool for one main reason because we can sit here and speculate, but I had no problem with Atlanta doing what they did. Um, and I think there's going to be some battles for some things. I disagree. The Atlanta's got a better offensive juggler. Can't again, people up here acting like making it out dissing Atlanta for making a common sense move. People have watched what happened with Mahomes behind Alex Smith. This is this I can't emphasize this enough why I don't understand why cats don't get it. Jordan Love had to sit behind Aaron Rodgers had to sit behind Brett Favre. This is nothing new. When you're not sure and you got a guy who is 36 and who injury prone and you make a move. I get it. C. Well, C. I'm not that impressed. I mean, I'm not that, because there's going to be something that comes up. C minus. When I think about that Philadelphia game, that was embarrassing. And they had to do that makeup call with MB pulled old boy down. So C minus. C minus. I'm not, I don't never feel the rest. I always say, what's happening? Appreciate you, AG. Thank you. I don't know what he ready for because it depends. Me and Ted had a discussion all the time. I always say, reason why I don't take drafts too serious, you depend on who your system is, who your coach is, uh, personnel, what ownership's really to spend what they want to do. I can't say. I don't have a problem with it because I've seen it before. Raheem Morris is probably looking at Mahomes. That's what a lot of teams are looking at. They say, well, if we get somebody, he's left-handed, having a Michael Vick 2.0, maybe flashback. We make a move like this. This guy might be something. So, and he can throw distance. He got wheels. You got to take a chance. That's the reason. And from a black perspective, glad to see a brother getting a potential shot because I think that's what's up. I'm just keeping it 100 on that side. Yeah, and they might fool around and decide to put him. Kirk Cousins is 36. Kirk Cousins been injury prone, and his track record ain't been that memorable because Ted knows a couple years ago when they got in the playoffs, cats was rubbing their toes together to play him in the playoffs because they knew he was going to turn the ball over and be erratic. But I will give Kirk Cousins his due. Who's ever his agent is one of the smartest cats in pro sports because Kurt stays getting paid. If you are a second, third tiers quarterback journeyman, which Kurt is, and you're not really a winner, and it ain't like I'm going to see a Matthew Stafford Super Bowl Lombardi coming his way, but he's a smart businessman. And I'm just keeping it 100. Two different quarterbacks. Tom Brady got more Super Bowl wins than Kirk Cousins got postseason wins. You can't even compare. That's not even fair. Two different drives, two different destinations, not the same. I got a relative of mine who's a big Washington fan, and he calls Kirk Cousins a hustler. He ain't got over him. And so, journeyman quarterback who's a good hustler. I mean, you get your bag. I ain't hating, but I'm not going to sit here and boast or brag about him either. So, I think it's a great move by Atlanta. I saw what the potential could be. Kirk Cousins gets hurt. You work somebody in the system. There you go. Yeah, and but Von won though. Now I will tell you this: where he is right now with Buffalo, yeah, you start doing Dancing with the Stars. That's about the only ball you gonna get. He had his best days in Denver and the Rams. He's top first flight Hall of Fame. I'm not arguing that, but it ain't been the same with the Bills. He had that one game, the start of the season when we beat the Rams out there, and he had some games, but when he got hurt, his game he never came back the same, and he is on the downside of his career. Ted Von got Ted. Yeah, I mean Von, but he was bad at once a time. There's no question about it. I know he was bad. You need to ask Belichick, Gronk, and Brady how bad he was. He beasted on them. They had to get their whole right side of their offensive line fixed up because he was stretching their backs out. They had to get some, they had to get some glue and some yarn because he was stretching backs out. When he had Wade Phillips as his coordinator in Denver, Vaughn was a beast. And then he went to the Rams with Aaron Donald, and now he's kind of like playing the cop role, but I don't see it in Buffalo. Okay, I understand. Never said she was. Never said she was. It's just that she's got the hype. She sells a lot of records. She's got fans, and people misconstrue sales and popularity, thinking that you measure up against something. And I haven't seen or heard nothing from her that I think is. I remember because they got someone from the Buffalo Bills. They had Andre Reed and they had Bruce Smith and they had Deion Sanders. And I'm like, y'all only about 10, 15 years too late. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's why they stay, no matter what name they go by, they still Washington not happening team. Commanders, Commodores, whatever you want to go by. It's been you know, doormat. We're gonna see what Magic and them what they get, but we're gonna see briefly, briefly, just like Bruce Smith. Think he went there briefly. Just so real quick. I think it was because I want to make sure I get that right, but he did when he left the Bills. Miami Heat. And we suck. And I'm gonna be real. Well, then that's a wrap for Philly. That's a wrap. And I'm not surprised. Philly don't deserve to beat them no way because I did my Tobias Harris video, if you remember. You can't have Lowry out playing Kyler. And I understand Kelly Oubre got hurt. I like the way he played this year, but he got hurt in that whole episode, what he went through. But Tobias Harris stealing money. Brunson is going to tear their butt up eventually, yeah. So, oh, yeah, they put defense on that butt. That's what happened. They should win that series. They should. They should. They should. Joel Embiid, body already kind of giving out. I like Nick Nurse. Coach, they got to revamp. They got to revamp him and Maxey, and y'all got to go out here and get y'all some guys that will score real third, fourth option, not half piece options. That's what's killing Phillies behind. They don't have. They got a 2.5 man team. Unless you got Shaq and Kobe or Shaq or D Wade or you got Magic Kareem or Durant and Curry maybe with Clay or something, you ain't winning like that. You ain't winning like that. And that's the problem. They don't have any help. They could easily be up in this series too. Could be up. Got riled out of game two, could be up. Not a good team. Not good. Not good. Not good. But yeah, Miami's my team real, and we're not that good. We're missing not only Jimmy Butler, but we don't have enough score. And Boston should beat us. If Boston lets that thing go 6 games, they suck. And I'm saying it as a Heat fan. This is their time to gloat. They better do it. If they don't do it, they ain't gonna get no better as far as the first round go. So Brunson took it over. B Max. Oh, Tobias scored 10. Wow. Charles would have won with him. Kelly Oubre 19. Kyle Lowry had 7. See, this is just embarrassing. That's the problem right there. That's the problem, right? I told you. That's why I did my video on him. And he's so frustrating. They let him play that low when I feel like it kind of ball. So I can't. I think Nick Nurse is done. I just think that that's just the marks of underachieving. They got to clean the house. So that's how I feel about it. They're not going to be a threat, though. Yeah, I would. I would. I would. And I think you got to get playmakers. You just got to get, guard play. You got to get another score. You got to get another score. You can't play like this. You're losing Joel Embiid by not building. That's the problem. And it's real noticeable. So that's their problem. But that's not my team, so I got no worry about that. There's nothing I can say about them. They don't wanna. They don't wanna. They can see what's causing them to fall off. But you got to give up something, though. You know what? If he's healthy, yeah, that would be scarier. Because Udoka knows what to do with Cat like that. That would be scarier. No, him going to Golden State wouldn't do nothing because Steph and him, but depends on what you got around you, and he's injury prone. But if he goes to like a Houston with Udoka, because that's all Udoka really need. No, that's not their problem. They need a score on the perimeter. They don't need him. And Luca and him would collide because they both top the key and they ball heavy and they ball bag heavy. But with Houston, I'm on it. You know what would be even freakier though with Embiid? San Antonio. Him and Wembley. Twin Towers. That'd be freaky. Um, he'd be scared. Yep. You get where I'm going at with that. The Twin Towers, that would be freaky. Him in Sacramento, they don't play no defense. And they need something. They missing that thing. They're missing that thing. Because they got the pieces, but they missing that thing. Cherry picking, but that's not what they need. They need a defensive stopper. They need defense. I they need defense and they need another piece. But that wouldn't take them over though. Just saying. I wouldn't want him on the Kings at this stage. They got to play some defense and they need, you know, not the guy I would necessarily want. He decent, but not the guy I would want. I'd have to. I told you, De'Aaron Fox is the only skipper that he could get anybody would be De'Aaron Fox. I already told you that's who I'd want. De'Aaron. That's his tempo, his pacing. Then you put him with Butler and Bam. And of course, the long shot on the Heat would be Giannis. That'd be the long shot. Either one of those two. That's it. You either have to have a guard that controls tempo and he could cause havoc, or you have a guy like Giannis. You have to have something that could, you know. So if he doesn't come back, he'll probably go to Florida. Somewhere, maybe somewhere like that. But it would be sad to see him on another team where he's just stat padding because it just really ain't. It ain't good. It ain't good. It ain't good. It's like watching Tony Parker with Charlotte at the end of his career. It ain't good. And we know the end is near. We know it. Body giving out, he know it. He stunk that last game. And it's reality. Pride and ego, but you got to be real with where you are. You know, and I'm a big Clay fan, but it's a wrap. It's all but wrapped up. There was a time that there have been a few teams I would say, yeah, but I can't even say that no more because there's nowhere he could go where you could just breathe life into him and make him into, you know, it's just not the same. So if I'm him, I stay. I take the 6 man route after what just happened. Starting where? And if his defense ain't on point and he's suspect shooting, where he gonna get a chance at? One last big payday. That means Toronto or Detroit or something. Be some scrub city. I mean, ain't nobody that's a contender gonna touch him. He ain't starting over Reeves right now. I hate to say it. We're not talking career. We're talking about where you are. And at this stage, he's about neck and neck with Reeves, really. Playing second tierish, third tierish role. That wouldn't be a good look. And they don't play defense. And if he's missing threes, then what good is he going to do for them? You got to have a guy who can knock shots down with consistency and play some defense. That's two of their Achilles. So I don't think that would be a good look. The one that everybody keeps hoping will come back to form like he has and to may live up to the promise. I don't think that's going to be good either. He's injury prone. He's mental prone. I just don't see it. No, no. He would have been a better fit in Milwaukee with Giannis and Dame. He would have been a better fit there. If I'm Dallas, I wish I could get my hands on Mark Cuban. Yeah, they do. If I'm Dallas, I wish I could get my hands on Chris Middleton. That's who I wish I could do if I was Dallas. That's the kind of guy that could be a problem. Most teams do. Most teams do. Yeah, 2 finals. He got a chip. Yeah, and his team has been a contending team. He got a Dirk Nowitzki, who's one of the greatest players ever, and he's got Luka. So there you go. That's gonna be part of his resume. There you go. He made Dallas a very profitable organization. Success. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, the Sean Bradley era, which was hilarious. I had a buddy of mine who used to slurp him, and I don't know if he was trolling me or not. I hope he was. But yeah, well, yeah, he used to be all about riding Sean Bradley. And Josh said Sean Bradley just stays getting posterized. Bad, brutal. But teams do go through that usually. I mean, it happened with the Lakers. You saw times you have downtime. Happens to teams no matter what. They have downtime. So, but successful ones come back. Yep. Oh, the demands in the 90s were more know about Jimmy Jackson and Jason Kidd and Tony Braxton. Yeah, I remember. Everybody dunked on Sean Bradley. Everybody did. Big goofy white boy. He was actually okay, cat. No, they said they didn't, but I don't believe him. Jimmy Jackson was up there trying to articulate Jamal Mashburn. They sucked though. That was comical. She was messing with my favorite Martin, Curtis Martin back then. She was, you know, industry. Industry. But there's the video out, Jimmy Jackson talking about it. Would I be shocked with anything? No, I wouldn't be shocked with that's up. May have been. I wouldn't be shocked, but kid was running wild back then. Kid was wild in them streets though. But cause man should like he gonna mug you, that's why. Man should look like he gonna mug you. So probably scared him. I don't know. He wasn't as popular as LB sure though. But he did scare some of them. He did some things back then though. He did get that share that cold rookie of the year with Grant Hill, but he had to work his butt to get that because the league wasn't trying to give him nothing. I told you when he knocked the French fry out of his ex-wife's mouth, that's what cost him the MVP over Tim Duncan, and was at 2003 or 2002. He was gonna be MVP. Knocked that fry out of her mouth. So I mean, he had guided himself to better behavior, but he did dumb stuff though. It wasn't because of that. He just did some dumb stuff. They just he overacted, and sometimes he tried to do stuff that really wasn't becoming. You know where you are. Damian Lillard's from Oaktown too. He ain't soft. Gary Payton was scare nobody. It's just that you gotta use some smarts, and sometimes cats don't be using their, you know. That's all that was. Kid was kind of starstruck too, so I mean, I think his ability to work on his craft. I think that's his underrated skill. He made himself into a better shooter. He didn't even have a shot, and then he ended up becoming one of the best 3-point shooters ever. So that says a lot about his working on his craft. Don't get me started. Oh, LeBron. Oh, LeBron. Oh, LeBron. That's his problem. That's why I don't take y'all seriously. One of the reasons why I don't. So I hope you lose just because of that. Because it's like, yo, man, you need to start riding this jock and understand that you're the reason why they got any hope. If you gonna be all like you be all, oh, he's so great. Oh, LeBron's. Oh, that's why you're having problems. So you said it. You said it. I didn't say it. You said it. He is starstruck. He's owned by Clutch Sports. So that's the problem. That's why you can't. That's why it's not taking you seriously. That's why you have a hard time. And if you don't win nothing, you know, because you know LeBron took his Finals MVP from him against Miami, got him all scared, playing his big brother, little brother crap. Shh, it's crazy. Yeah, he said he's the greatest and he slurps him and all that. I know. I see all that crap. And if you want my honest opinion, they're a very odd duo because they don't really even fit. They don't even fit. There is no real high there. They're not even really what I call two alphas. Because, I mean, yeah, because he knows how hard he got to get what he got. You see, you as a Laker fan, as long as you acknowledges the obvious, I ain't got to say nothing. I don't do no video. I have done a video about it. I did because I did the Moses Malone Dr. J video. I did do that video. And I said Dr. J wanted to win, so he knew he had to give it up to Moses. If LeBron wants to win, he got to give up to AD. But now he wants a stat pad. And if AD scores 29 points, I got to get my 30. AD got 36, I get 37. That's what's messing y'all up. I got to get my 8 assists and 8 rebounds. Yeah. That's why y'all where y'all is. That's why y'all where you are. And LeBron loves it. He loves seeing him look at him like a singer. Like, oh, LeBron. Oh, LeBron. Oh. I saw that mess. And I told you they don't like him. And they going to get him fired. You lose this series, his butt's gone. Somebody gone. They're going to be a flip. They lose this series. And Ham is tired of him too. I already know. But he can't do nothing. He's got to sit there and take it. Because he wants to fight him. You just don't know it. He wants to fight him. And he's tired of AD too, but he wants to fight LeBron. He can't do nothing. Because LeBron is acting like that petulant child that has had his way all this time. He knows his end is near. He knows. They lose another game, there going to be some big heads rolling. I'm telling you. That's why I can't clap for that team. That's why I can't respect them. How am I going to respect when you aren't playing to your team's ability? You stat pad and you arguing. Yeah, that's why I don't want to waste my time with that mess. I hope Denver finishes them all. I can't respect them. Because this isn't even basketball. This is on some espionage takeover. I don't know what they doing. But it's not good. It's not good. And that's the problem you're seeing. If I was a Laker fan, I'd be embarrassed. I'd root for Denver just to beat their butt so he shut up. Because he pouting all the time. Well, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just basketball and crying and stuff. I said, give him something to cry about. Get his butt up out of there. But see, Jenny needs him. They need the money. They about the bag. But they know the wheels are coming off. It's embarrassing. So he was out anyway. Yeah. Thank you. He was out anyway. They weren't gonna win that. Their problem is that, but Middleton can score. It's just that they gotta play some defense. Maybe now Middleton and Lopez will come up. But Dame wasn't doing nothing, no way. Except from game one. Yeah. But they don't play no defense. It's not a good series for them. It's not a good year for them. I just think that he ain't used to being in this kind of position and it's scaring him. That's what I think. I think that when you're not used to playing for something that matters, you so used to stat padding and you so used to being on vacation by now, he didn't adapt to Milwaukee. It's just a mess. No hope. Or they'll probably play their best basketball because Chris Middleton can score. Lopez can score. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't have a dog in the race. I mean, I'd like Giannis, but he messed up though. They get keep letting their coaches go. They messed up. Well, he gonna have to prove he can do something because he ain't looking good now. And Indiana ain't going nowhere. And they pretty much match you. So I don't care. Milwaukee screwed up a sure enough thing. See, for me, if you want my honest opinion, the way Milwaukee lost those 2 games to the Lakers is indicative of their season. They lost that first game when they should have won that game in LA, and then they lost that other game in Milwaukee where they blew that big lead against y'all. So that told me everything I need to know about them right there. No one can close, no finishing, playing cute, and just not serious. They win either one of those games. Y'all probably not in the playoffs. If they win one of those games, their seeding might be second seed. They just didn't stay consistent. I'm just keeping it 100. So that's why the Bucks are where they are. So, but that was the one. Oh, heck yeah. And it have a chance to be a classic. Heck yeah. I would love to see that. I hope we get to see that. We as the fans take your Laker bias out, you know good and well that'd be a compelling series. Ant going up against, can Ant dethrone Jokic as the best in the West? Those two twins with Gobert and Cat, how they with Michael Portis and Aaron Gordon, that would be a match up. That's basketball right here. The current new guard against the maybe new guard. Come on now. That would be that's a dog fight. That's a slugfest. I hope so. I hope so. That's what I like to see. I think the 4 best teams in the West are the top 4, and I'm sticking to it. I think Minnesota's got something there. I don't know if they pull that trigger now though. What's happening? How you doing? UK and the Hales. What's happening? Good to see you tonight. Um, Maybe like I said before, at this stage, he's playing as a journeyman. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who would touch him. WHS, what's good to see you. Thank you for coming through tonight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where you put Katie now. I don't know. They got a chance. They got a chance. Now, granted, Phoenix ain't exactly the best, you know, test to say because that was pretty much a cakewalk. And I think they're going to dismantle them in 4. But they got a chance. I'm looking at what I'm seeing. He's always been underrated, but we're looking at what I'm seeing, especially if McDaniel's coming on and they're healthy and Edwards is Edwards and you got Cat and Gobert. Oh, they're going to be a handful. They're going to be a handful. They're pretty deep at the starting 5. So they could be a problem. I just think that the best teams in the West are on the upper echelon. I just think it's a changing of the guards. That's all I'm saying. That's why I'm saying they deep. I forgot all about him. They deep. They deep. On paper, they're the only team that I think from a depth perspective that could beat Denver. Now, I know you're going to say Shane OKC, and I got to see how things play out. And you might have a case there, but if I'm looking at the size and the balance, Minnesota looks like the team, you know. So there's no versus. Cherry Joker's better. That's not up for discussion. Not at this stage. Chet's got to get a couple more years. He need a little more meat on his bones and probably about a couple more years because Joker's on a different trajectory. Chet is like where Joker was about 5 or 6 years ago, about 5 years ago. And he got 2020 Joker. So get at me in about 2 or 3 years. Then we got a case. He's about a couple of years before, 2 or 3 years before we start putting him in the same with Joker. You gotta have some hind parts before you put him with Joker. And you gotta have some more battle. You gotta have some more battles tested. Joker done been around the block. Different situation. But he's on the right side of it though. So so you know. I ain't got nothing to say about that. We'll see what happens when they get back to Denver. You'll find out. I think they'll be more. I think they'll be ready. They haven't played their best game yet. That's the scary part. Like I said before, y'all king. It should be up. This series, that's what makes Denver scary. That's how he's old and they inconsistent with the Lakers, and the Lakers just don't, you know. But Denver ain't gonna play around. They still got a great game in them. They when they play that game, it'll be over. And I expect them to come prepared. I know Mike Malone ain't gonna be playing. They got a little cute. They got one win out in LA. I think they're gonna finish. No, because you should have won this series already. I'm not giving you credit. If you really pay attention to this series, you've outplayed Denver all 4 games. You've been up by 10 every game at halftime. Why are you down 3-1? What I'm gonna give you credit for. If LeBron James is an all-around player, he should be matching Jokic. Why is he not utilizing the components? Why he ain't the main man? Why are you not getting in D'Lo's behind and Reeves? I don't get no credit for that. It looks good from what? For some sports scientists to say, oh, wow, they came back. They were leading, not hating. How about the fact that you underachieved? You should be up in this series. You've outplayed them 12-4 quarters. It's not hating. You blew a 20-point lead and you lost at the buzzer because LeBron tried to be cute and shoot a bad 3. You blew the first game. You blew two. You could have won this whole series now if you had a guy who could finish. You should be up. I'm not impressed. Ain't no credit. When you see what the Timberwolves are doing to Phoenix, I'm giving credit there. They tearing that butt up. This is a situation where AD has matched and then he's been held back. Or your guards aren't playing, or Darren Ham can't get his rotations right, or he's getting out coached. There's no like, oh, you ain't call it hating. Old school Laker fans know what I'm talking about. New school Laker fans, it's not the same. Because I'm gonna tell you something. Shaq and Kobe and them would have figured this out. Magic and them would have figured it out too. They ain't losing to a team they can beat. They come back and beat that butt. You don't get yourself in elimination processes back to back. And you're losing games because you can't hold leads. I'm not impressed. No. Now I'll give you this. If you were to come back and then you dismantle Minnesota and whoever else onward, I'll give you credit for that. But you gets no credit for struggling and losing the way you have to this team in different ways. He would. Because there ain't nowhere in the world he wouldn't stop feeding Anthony Davis. And he would have kicked D'Angelo Russell in the behind. Or he wouldn't have came out that locker room. You're gonna be up there on no phone. These guys are soft. Reeves would have to step up. They would have to step up. They'd have to bring their defense. So no. Magic would have too. Magic Johnson would have. Bird would have too. You mentioned great players who understood how to step to the moment. They would have figured this out. Especially when you've been out playing a team. That's why you call me a hater, but you ask yourself, have you outplayed them? If you answer yes, if you had the lead, been in control. Now don't get it twisted. Denver might spank you in one of these games and that's it. But if I look at the totality of the series, you've outplayed them. You just haven't finished the execution. And that's bad coaching and that's lack of leadership. And I put that on LeBron and I put that on Darvin Ham. That's why I'm hating. If you call me hating, then I'm a hater. But if you stating the facts, you got no one to blame but yourselves. Jokic is a great player. No argument. Portis is really good. Jamal Murray's, Gordon, he's good. But you've outplayed them. If I was a hater, I wouldn't even give you the truth. I'm giving you the truth. You've outplayed them. But there's a good chance you lose to them. Because once they play a one great game, that could be your butt. And who you going to put the finger at? I'm putting the finger at LeBron James and Darvin Ham. They're going to be the main ones to take the beating on this. And you don't deserve to win as far as I'm concerned because you had a golden opportunity. I'm sorry, you don't blow no 20-point lead and lose like that and somehow, you prolong a series against a team that you matched up. Well, that's got to do with the off season. That's got to do with what they draft. They wanted to get rid of D'Lo. They didn't get what they wanted. I do believe Zach LaVine may have been part of the piece, but he got hurt for the season. I think there's going to be some movement. I definitely think there'll be some movement. But the bottom line is, they do. They need a guy that can score. Because if D'Lo gives you an Easter egg and Reeves barely can, them cats can't be trusted. You do know this. So you'll see. And I expect to see some movement. I do. Even if they do miraculously go somewhere, they're going to still make a move. They can't rely on what they got because they're just too much of the same and they don't have enough depth. And they don't play good enough defense to sustain that. So I don't know what big names they can get. Trae Young is about it right now. So, but that's my Laker rant right there. It's not no hate. I'm stating, I'm telling what y'all should be doing. Y'all should be up in this series. Y'all the ones that made it. So if you lose, can't call me a hater because you lost. You lost. LeBron lost you. Darvin Ham lost you. Just those two. And AD too for not demanding and commanding. Because if you're big and you claim that you're one of the best in the world, you AD, you supposed to say, I can stick with Jokic. I can stick with Joel Embiid. I should be getting that Luka love. He's a settler and he's stargazing. And this is why I ain't holding Reeves accountable for much because he's a role player. Y'all the ones in LA who's making this white boy like he's more than what he is, AK, you know. Okay. So I'm not doing it. I let y'all do that. I don't do it. You know I come down on Reeves. It's a nice, you know, nice TV movie story, but it ain't he ain't in my he's one of those he would be effective if y'all were winning, really winning. But all that grabbing your arm when you make a three and all that crap, please. What happens when he ain't making shots? He ain't grabbing his arm then, he ain't threeing. He's too streaky. That's all he do. All y'all got is nothing but actors on your team. All grabbing his rear arm and then and I mean all this actors that you got D-Lo. I mean, y'all look like y'all making a movie over there. I mean, y'all like a movie cast. But don't worry, if Denver do what they supposed to do, no. Reeves is a decent off the bench player. He's not a starter. Hero, I expect more. My knock on Hero is that he don't come up where he should. He played a great game in game 2. But he pouted last night. They threw the ball, got mad. He doesn't play with consistency. It's not that I don't like, it's what I noticed. My knock against Reeves is that he's not that kind of player. They would if he's consistent. The best white boy the Lakers had recently was Alex Caruso. Caruso fit. He couldn't score like Reeves, but he was a better fit. Think what you want. I like Tyler Hero when he's consistent, but he ain't a starter. He ain't the dude. That's what Boston's exposed. That's why I have a problem with him because he comes across like he's slim shading it and he trying to be all cool. His game doesn't merit that. He got to be more consistent. That's all. He can play, but he be tripping too much. And that's why he stays in the doghouse. I'm going to give it a roll because it's about time for me to eat. Appreciate everybody coming through. Thoughts. Stay warm, stay safe. Hope you're enjoying some spring. Hope everything going cool. I like Caruso. Because I wish Hero was more disciplined like that. He did that whole thing with his arm too, but he played. He got a streak about him that I like. I'm not that hard on some of these cats. These cats is hard on themselves. It's the stuff that they do. Because I watch how they don't play. And when you're not consistent, you're in a day and a time now where you can do something. They just choose not to. That's all. Hero, when he played great the other night, I gave him his due. But he stunk it up last night. He got outplayed. He didn't control tempo. And that's a problem. Reeves played great last night. He got to do it again. Can't be sometimey. So, anyway, I'm going to call it a night. So, peace. Appreciate everybody coming through. Comments, suggestions, everything. Stay up. All right, I'll catch you. Peace.